Well, Naruto, you came too.
Team Kakashi has come to escort you back to the Leaf.
Having too many ties in this world will only lead you astray.
Shalom, shalom, family. This your boy here, back with my first lesson. Well, I guess I can't say back because this is my first lesson. You guys are gonna have to excuse me. It's the first time ever doing this. I'm coming off the top of the dome too, so nothing is scripted. Everything is just fresh off my mind. But yeah, so I want to get into today's lesson. Actually, first off, I'd like to take the time to stop and give all praises to the Most High God, and thank you for viewing this video. So first off, let's talk about that quote, that jewel that Sasuke just dropped. So he said, having too many ties in this world will lead you astray. Now, that in itself is a whole nugget of wisdom. All right, it's slept on. A lot of people bypass this quote in the show because, you know, there's Naruto, everything else is going on, and big ninja battles is taking place. But I want to really focus on the meaning of this quote, because oftentimes in life, you know, we don't take the time to listen, not only to ourselves, but really to the Most High. Now, I don't know what you believe in, what your belief system is, but over here in my house, you know, we believe in the Most High God, specifically the Most High power of Israel. Okay. And a lot of the times you'll know from birth that you were different. You were always different. You know, you maybe didn't fit in quite well, or you were the quote unquote quiet kid of the class, right? And every time you tried to fit in or you tried to hang out, you were ostracized and you were made fun of or ridiculed because of it. As you got older, you know, actually, let me take a step back. Let me rewind real quick. When you were a child, you had certain gifts, right? You know, certain things that you could tap into, you know, into your full creativity, because you can imagine things. You know, you were a kid, you were free from the drivel that they've imbued in you as you got older. You know, the mind control about, you know, you need to give up on your gifts and, you know, just have a plan B and C and everything else, right? You know, 9 to 5, that's what you're supposed to be doing, right? Go to school. But once we do that, we start to lose sight of ourselves. And the major component of that is ties to this world. Familial ties, friendship ties, or just ties in general. It's not wrong to have bonds with people, but there has to be a limit. Your bonds cannot supersede the love that you have for yourself, or the vision that you have for yourself. So what Sasuke is saying is, too many ties and bonds in this world distract you from your goals, distract you from what you need to do. Okay. And we're not going to get into the topic of what his goal is, you know, vengeance and all that. That's a whole nother topic for another day. You know, that in itself is wrong. However, just the premise, okay, of focusing on your goals and cutting off the people who don't matter. All right. So in order to achieve something, in order to tap into your gifts, you have to be alone. The Most High can only deal with you when you are by yourself. He can't deal with you when you know, dealing with the world. When we're out here in the world and dealing with other people, he can't focus and allow you to, you know, pull out your spiritual gifts that you have. You know, a lot of people have multiple spiritual gifts. You know, you may be good at music, drawing, you know, have the power of the word, of the voice, retaining knowledge. You know, everybody has a lot of different gifts out here, but they allow themselves to be controlled by other people, you know, by bonds, okay, and that weighs you down because you don't have enough time and spirit and energy to focus on yourself and cultivating your gifts, because you're always focusing on other people. You're always focusing on subconsciously, what can I do to make this person happy, to keep them in my life? All right. The drama, everything else that goes along with it, they're literally stealing your energy, your drive to create things. And sometimes, a lot of the times it's not that's what I'm looking for. It's not deliberate. A lot of times it is. You just got to know the company you keep and filter them through the spirit. But a lot of the times it's unbeknownst to them, because whenever you decide that you want to have a form of relationship with somebody, i.e. friendship or just have a deep family relationship, it's taking away from what you need to be doing. And Sasuke understood this. This is why we need to apply this to life, because he would have never elevated, which is why he's standing on the mountaintop and he's looking down on them. He would have never elevated to the position that he's at if he didn't cut off those ties. Okay? Because people will drag you down, man. And it's no disrespect. People might not like that. They might say, oh, you're being a little bit too harsh or whatever. No. People will drag you down if you let them, if you allow them. Because whatever their interests are, whatever they're interested in doing, whatever they like doing, they're going to do. And they're going to come to you with these interests in these things that they like to do. So let's throw an example out there. Say, for instance, you may have friends who, like to party all the time or go to the club. Well, of course, whenever you guys get together, whenever they try to reach out to you, that's what they're going to make you do. And that's going to distract you from what you need to be doing. Okay? If you know that it's not something that's fruitful to you and it's not beneficial to your gift, you shouldn't be doing it. And the moment you separate and isolate yourself from them and start to cultivate and realize what you're actually good at, they're going to start to become jealous, and they're going to become envious, and they're going to now spend their time trying to find out how they can destroy you. Okay? It never fails. It never fails, but it's something we must do. It's something we have to do. Okay? We have to isolate ourselves and focus on the spiritual gifts that we've been given, because we have a purpose on this earth and we have to figure out what that is. You have to get in tune with the Most High and figure out what it is that you're gifted at and what you're supposed to be doing. The reason why I can speak on this is because I'm going through this right now. For a while I've been feeling like, there's something I'm supposed to be doing. This 9 to 5, everything else that I'm doing is not quite adding up. It's not quite fulfilling my spirit. And I started to isolate myself, and also, might I add, removing yourself from a lot of distractions. Okay? A lot of crutches that you may have. So some of you may have, drug addictions, maybe a drinking addiction or a drinking problem, maybe a porn addiction. A lot of these things we all have, and I'm gonna keep it real. I had a couple of those things. I've had, at one point I had a drug addiction, another one I had an alcohol addiction, and the hardest addiction for me to kick, and I'm still battling against, is a porn addiction. So I've had the triple threat, okay? And it's not easy, but you have to master yourself. You have to get over those hurdles, those stumbling blocks, as the Bible says. And the only way to do that is to get in touch, get in tune with the righteous side, with the Most High, and fall in line with what He has going on. So once you do that and you take those necessary steps and understand what it is that you need to be working on, and you can now remove yourself from the bullshit, now all of a sudden the Most High Spirit can work through you. Now He can show you, okay, the things that you supposed to be doing. He'll actually, what He'll do, the crazy thing, oh man, that's how amazing the Most High is. He will magnify your gifts, and He will start to actually give you gifts, certain spiritual gifts, because you're deciding to put Him first. He'll give you the spirit of discernment, right? The ability to see and hear things, have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Some of you, He'll increase your knowledge, your intake of knowledge. Some of you, he'll give you the power of the tongue to be able to speak. Utterance, the power of utterance. There's a lot of different gifts, but he will let you know what yours is if you communicate with him and you're constantly trying to isolate yourself and build that relationship, that spiritual relationship. And like I said, I can only preach on this because this is exactly what I'm going through, and I've realized it. He'll use other people, he'll use people in your vicinity to speak to you through them about what you need to be doing. They can pick up on what your gifts are and tell you what it is that you need to be doing, and you need, at that point, need to reflect, self-analyze, and be like, okay, maybe this is something I need to be doing. Just take the jump, because fear was holding me back. Fear of the unknown, but mostly fear of, is what I have to say important enough for people to hear. I didn't feel like what I said mattered. I knew I was smart. I knew that I had some level of knowledge and understanding, but I didn't think that my voice was important enough to speak on things. And that was due to years of programming, years of indoctrination. And I didn't realize until I was like, wow, this, I just had to talk with my wife, and she gave me one of the best pep talks of my life. But yeah, man, it's something that we all need to do. And, it's a hard step, but it's a necessary step. I understand how hard that first step is, but it's a necessary step. And, staying consistent and making sure that you're staying away from the bullshit. See, once you identify it, now you have to make a commitment to staying away from it. Right? That's not saying that, you won't ever be able to have a relationship with people at all. That's not saying that at all. But in order to grow, in order to elevate from if you want to go from point A to point B, you're gonna some things got to change, man. You got to cut some people off. Okay, some people who don't mean you any good, or who are stuck at this lower level and don't want to grow. So you have to now elevate yourself to get to a higher level, and then people on that higher level you can start to attract people on a righteous side of things. People who can understand the world or understand the spiritual things as you do. You could connect with them and grow with them. Okay, but that can only happen if you cut the ties, if you cut the bonds. And that's exactly what Mr. Sasuke Uchiha here was talking about. Okay, like I said, if he remained in the village, he would have never been able to get to the point where he can get closer to achieving his goals. He would have remained stagnant. He would have likely given up on his goal because everybody around him wanted him to. See, everybody around him was selfish to the point where they wanted him to stay there because of their interest. They cared about him to the point where, they were trying to, as her brother would put, the brother Newbury would put, shout out to you, love bomb him. Oh, well, we want you to stay. We want you to, be here with us. But that wasn't his purpose. That's not what he was designed to do. Okay. He, at the very beginning of the series, he said that he had an ambition. That was a goal. And for him to follow that ambition. So it is selfish of other people then at that point to try and hold him down, hold him back because of their interest in him. Now, we're not, like I said, we're not talking about the specifics of, everything else that happened in the series, but just the sheer fact that he had a goal and his so-called friends and comrades tried to prevent him from achieving that goal because they thought it was wrong. Now, just apply that context to your real life. If you have friends and people in your circle who, for whatever reason, want to hold you back or think you should be doing this or doing that when that's not something you're interested in or that you don't even want to do or that you normally don't do, you need to cut them people off, man. You got to let them go so that you can grow. Because if you do not, it will be the end of your journey. And in a lot of scenarios, it can be the end of your life. because you choose to hang out with these people and do, whatever it is that they want to do, that they like delving in, the lower level activities, to the point where you get caught up in some shit and now you're in trouble. All because you made that conscious decision to let these people in your life. So we have to scrutinize who we allow in our life. And to be honest, you have to go a period without dealing with people. I know you guys can attest to this, where you're alone for a while and you can now work on the things you want to do and you start to grow because of it. Okay, this is necessary. I know this is necessary for somebody. And this isn't just me trying to edify you guys, it's edifying myself as well. Me repeating these things that I've learned is helping me to stay in mind, stay on mode. Okay, like we can all learn. Iron sharpeneth iron. So it's not just for your sake, it's for mine too. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, I think that's pretty much it. Just making sure you watch out for people and really scrutinize who you decide to let in your life. That goes for men, women, especially you guys with women. That's another thing. With women, you need to be extra careful, okay? Because I'm sure you guys know what the modern woman is capable of. I mean, I might reserve that for a whole nother video. But men definitely need to watch. You need to watch who you confide in and who you give information to. Don't even tell people what your plans are, what you're gonna do. Why would you do that? Because people can cast spells on you. Okay, as far-fetched as that sounds, people can cast spells on you just by what they say. If they can talk behind your back and say things like, "Oh, he'll never amount to anything," or "He'll never do X, Y, Z," or "He won't." That's casting spells on you. Okay, that's preying on your downfall. That's what that means. Okay, whenever they exclaim something or speak something into the world or into the universe, you don't think that has weight? You don't think that has power? Of course, if you're under the Most High's protection, keeping that full armor of the Most High on you, it's going to bounce off of you. Okay, but to everybody else who's living wickedly or not doing the right thing, yeah, they're going to wonder why they're always in the same situation, in the same place, and they can't seem to go anywhere. I'm telling you, there is real power that y'all don't realize spiritually on the right hand side and on the left hand side. Okay, so I just want to say that. Didn't want to make this too long, as this is my first video. It's not structured at all, so forgive me if I've been rambling and going off on tangents, but that's just how I talk and that's how I am. If you guys like the raw, unedited stuff that I'm doing, then please let me know. If you would prefer it to be structured and in a certain format, let me know as well, please, because it's my first time doing this, and like I said, I just wanted to really speak what was on my heart, what was on my mind. This is weighing heavy on my spirit, and I wanted to just get that out there, just start voicing my thoughts about things, especially something like this. I came across this the other day in a video clip, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize he was dropping jewels like this. Every now and then, and in certain shows you'll have characters that do this. They'll let you know, the truth, essentially. But you just have to have eyes to see and ears to hear. Excuse me. So, but before we go, I actually want to read a scripture really quickly. Y'all bear with me for a minute. Okay, this verse is from the King James Bible, Proverbs 18:1, and it reads, "Through desire, a man having separated himself seeketh and intermeddleth with all wisdom." Okay, and this is the New King James Version. It says, "A man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all wise judgment." Basically translates to, through isolating yourself with the cares and affairs of this world, you actively seek wisdom. Okay, you naturally, as a man, the Most High will start to imbue you with more wisdom and eyes to see certain things and how people operate. That's wisdom. Okay, you know, and at least on the right hand side, as you grow and read the Bible more, you'll start to gather and gain a level of understanding that you never thought you could achieve. Listen, in my years on this planet, I've never thought that I would mentally be at the level that I'm at right now. And that's only due to the Most High, because, I read the Bible and I separated myself and isolated myself and allowed him to work through me. Okay. That's why the separation is key. Isolation and separation away from the world, giving yourself time to meditate on things, to ponder, to think. You can't be so caught up in hustle and bustle in everybody else's lives. You see, when you have so many people around you, you're so worried and fixated on their lives that you can't focus on yours. You can't achieve your goals. Okay? You can't do what it is necessary to foster your talents. You got to be a little bit selfish out here, man, especially in this day and age. And like I said, people are gonna try to guilt trip you and love bomb. Oh man, you don't you don't try to hang out with it. Nah, fuck all that. Fuck all that. You do what's necessary for you in the benefit of building yourself up and growing. And if they can't understand that, if they can't respect the fact that you're taking time to isolate yourself and build yourself up, that they don't need to be there. I don't know how many times I got to reiterate this. They don't need to be there. You need to cut them off. So I'm gonna end the video here. That's it. I'm off my soapbox. So with that being said, I would like to end with all praises to the Most High Power, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai. And thank you guys for listening. Hopefully I'll be able to do another one of these videos. Maybe another topic. I don't know what the topic is going to be, but just look out for that. And yeah, peace.